Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us this Saturday night. Tasmania's Health Department has followed a national ruling to reduce the COVID reinfection period. It means anyone with symptoms after 28 days should isolate and test for COVID, down from 12 weeks. The state has passed another COVID milestone, reaching more than 200,000 cases since the pandemic began. More than 1,500 new cases were recorded overnight, with more than 9,000 active cases now in the state. Calls are growing for an Indigenous voice to be added to the Tasmanian Parliament. Franklin Liberal MP Nick Street has backed Premier Jeremy Rockliff's call for it to be considered.
What form that takes, I'm not sure, but like the Premier, I'm more than open to those discussions.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has committed to holding a referendum on adding an additional voice to the federal parliament. An internal review of Labor's 2021 state election campaign has lamented a lack of training for new candidates and volunteers. A report from the party's national executive makes 15 recommendations, including urging more cohesive campaigning and greater integration of the Parliamentary Labor Party into policy development. The report's second phase is due later this year. Labor polled just over 28% of the vote last year, its second worst result ever. Tourists will be flocking to the Huon Valley next weekend for the Midwinter Festival and hopefully bringing a major economic boost with them. Organisers of the off-season event are preparing to return to full capacity, helping revive the hard-hit arts sector.
In the middle of Tasmania's iconic apple-picking region, the Huon Valley Midwinter Festival was born. Gearing up for another year, these homegrown jewellery makers are among stallholders who will showcase their offering.
It should be really good. Because of COVID, we lost a lot of the festivals of the last couple of years, so this is great to have one back that we can actually commit to and enjoy.
The festival is returning to its pre-pandemic format, with old favourites on display, including the Burning Man.
It gives us an opportunity to invest in artists and the event space, which has really been hit by COVID over the last couple of years.
Revellers are encouraged to dress in their best pagan-themed wear. The unique event is even making its mark outside the Apple Isle.
We've got everyone from the locals to Hobart to interstate people and even some international people that have come back to our festival 3, 4 and 5 times.
All helping to provide a much-needed cash injection to a sector that's battled through COVID cancellations.
The figures in the past have indicated that there are unique visitors to the state who come specifically for the Midwinter Festival. That's 1,000 people coming into Tasmania that otherwise might not have come if this event didn't exist.
Organisers are set to welcome in more than 1,500 people through the WILLIE Smith gates, seeing them almost triple their capacity under last year's COVID measures.
Tickets are nearly sold out. You can only buy tickets online and we're nearly getting to maximum capacity, so get in quick.
The action kicks off next Friday and will run across 3 days. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania is expected to be home to Australia's first large-scale carbon-neutral e-fuels production facility. HAF Global, which is partly owned by Porsche, has filed a notice of intent with the Tasmanian Environment Protection Authority. It would be built in the state's northwest near Burnie, with plans to make 100 million litres of carbon-neutral e-fuel per year. Tasmania's tourism sector is recognising health and aged care staff for their work throughout the pandemic. Workers can claim special deals from the state's top accommodation attractions and tours as part of the Take a Break initiative backed by the Tourism Council.
I've got a stack of really great deals come in. Free entry to Port Arthur Historic Site, 50% off Rob Pennicott's tours, free chocolate for coffee at Coal River Farm. So there's something for everyone.
It has been challenging and there's been some sort of issues, with workforce and shifts and really being able to take that time to look after yourself.
Frank Cider House is among the 80 businesses as well who've already signed on. Deals can be claimed directly from operators from August through to mid-September. Young readers have taken the chance to add to their book collection with the Variety Monster Book Fair returning. Thousands of books have already been snatched up, the funds going towards Tasmania's disadvantaged children.
Living up to its name, the annual Monster Book Fair has seen volunteers busied by droves of reading enthusiasts.
We've had people lining up from 8 o'clock this morning, which was just fantastic to see. As soon as we opened the doors, there was just a stream of several hundred people coming through.
It's a school holiday favourite featuring a live sand sculpture, animal nurseries, superheroes and more. But the main attraction is, of course, the books.
When I was looking for train books, I found this Guinness World Record book. I'm looking at a book of gifts to make.
The event raises funds to support Tasmanian children who are sick, disadvantaged or living with disability, while also promoting healthy literacy habits.
I see a lot of kids, including my son Max, getting into books, getting into reading, and actually these are all second-hand books, so getting another life in usage.
A long and constant queue of avid readers lined the building, filling their baskets to the brim.
From the time I got here, I've been on register and I haven't stopped.
The checkout system here is slightly different to your usual store. You're charged for the height of your book stack at a price of $1 per centimetre. The event also features a quiet hour to help young shoppers who prefer a more relaxed pace.
We'll be turning off the music, lowering the lights as much as possible, and just generally making a safe and welcoming space for people that don't want too much sensory input.
The fair returns tomorrow for those who missed out, and organisers are confident they can beat last year's $25,000 achievement. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Thousands of children are taking to the Princess Theatre with their parents proudly watching on as part of the Launceston competition's dance section. Organisers expect the performers to dance their heart out for the 120th instalment of the event.
Performing to a full house. Dancers in the Launceston competitions filled the Princess Theatre.
We have over 5,000 entries across the competitions, and last year we had, at the Dance Week alone, 9,000 patrons in the theatre, which was amazing.
Classical ballet dancers among those on stage today. The Kim Rose School of Dance has around 70 dancers participating, securing the win in the under 10 section after rehearsing for 9 weeks.
It's a wonderful experience for the children.
Those in show business say the competitions are the perfect training ground for high quality performers.
Tasmania has the highest engagement per capita with the arts, and Launceston sits very firmly within that context.
Performing on this beautiful stage is just, they're the luckiest children in Australia.
This year's competitions are being judged by Devonport local Jeff McCormack.
He's danced around the world in ballet companies. He's been a teacher on the mainland for many, many years, and has also been involved in all the different genres: tap, jazz, modern, ballet, and song and dance.
The competitions are back in full force this year after COVID restrictions were relaxed. And while the organisers have kept some of the restrictions in place, the virus has still made for a challenge.
It's been a bit of a challenge because of COVID and the flu. So, every week we seem to have a different lot of people away. So it's really confusing for little ones.
The competitions finish on July 16 with tickets available through Theatre North. Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians can look forward to a colourful Mexican fiesta touching down in Hobart this November. The Day of the Dead festival is inspired by a traditional Mexican holiday celebrating family and friends who've passed.
We are going to have makeup artists and event available for all the people who want to have the Katrina makeup. We are going to have Latin food. We are going to have a lot of tequila.
Bringing together some great live entertainment from a yet-to-be-announced Mexican band.
Only 1,500 tickets are available for the festivities taking place at the Utah's Sandy Bay Bar. It's being supported by the Australian Embassy in Mexico. And in the TSL, Launceston has furthered its case as the team to beat with a huge win over the Kingborough Tigers. It was a fiery start with a melee breaking out at the end of the second quarter.
Scruffing of jumpers, left, right and centre. Wait for this to settle. Josh on the camera getting all the action here. Umpire blowing the whistle, but two teams not in a hurry to separate.
In the top of the table clash, Launceston stormed home, defeating the Tigers 133-51. The Northern Bombers secured a convincing win against the Demons, winning by more than 50 points. And Clarence also had an easy victory, beating the Magpies by 66 points. A late surge from Cripps Waratah saw them prevail over Arrows last night in the RACTI Tasmania Netball League. The Kingston Blues also prevailing over Corunna. At the Silverdome in Launceston today, the Hawks were far too good for Devon. The ladder leaders blowing out the margin in the second half, ending with a 37-point win to continue their undefeated season. Devonport have maintained their lead at the top of the NPL Tasmania table with a 5-0 drubbing of Riverside. The Strikers had 3 by half-time as Olympic continue to search for their first win of the season. Second place Glenorchy had their work cut out for them, recovering from a goal down to beat Olympia 2-1. And there's been heartbreak for 3 Tasmanians competing in the FIBA Under-17s World Cup in Spain. Having gone through the Asia Cup qualifiers undefeated, the Crocs' dream run came to an end this morning. Spain were too strong, Australia going down 70-68. Northwest locals Kai Savage scored 11 points, with Jacob Furphy also hitting the scoreboard. Launceston's Lachlan Brewer did not play.
Good evening, everyone. 14 degrees in Burnie today, Launceston and Devonport both 13 and 11 in Hobart. Across the state, Smithton the top of 15 degrees, the Islands 14, 13 in Low Head and 11 in St Helens, Friendly Beaches, Grove and Ooze. Cloud can be seen being pushed over much of Tasmania today by southwesterly winds, however there were clear skies in the northwest. Further out, areas of low cloud cover much of southeastern Australia. A frontal cloud band lies over the southwest of Western Australia, while the rest of the continent remains mostly clear. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure is drifting over Tasmania as well as eastern and central parts of the mainland. A cold front crosses Western Australia with an associated trough extending further north. East to northeasterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, tending north to northeasterly 20 to 30 knots about the west. And there is a strong wind warning current for the far northwest and central west coasts, and a road weather alert for icy roads across most of the state. Partly cloudy and 13 in Hobart and Richmond tomorrow, morning frost and 12 in Ooze. Launceston and Devonport both 13, -3 overnight in Deloraine reaching 11 during the day. 12 degrees in Burnie tomorrow, sunny and 13 in Strawn, Curry reaching 14. And in the east, St Helens and Swansea both partly cloudy and 13 and 14 in Whitemark. Looking on to Monday, showers about the north increasing and extending about the west. Showers contracting to the west, south and east on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, showers in those areas continuing, mostly fine elsewhere. 18 in Perth tomorrow, mostly sunny in Adelaide and Melbourne. Sydney 17, 20 in Brisbane and sunny, and 29 in Darwin. And currently Hobart 9 degrees and mostly cloudy, 9 and partly cloudy in Launceston, and Devonport also 9 and clear. And that's all in weather tonight, Lou.
The trifecta. Thanks for that, Chelsea. And that's all your news for this Saturday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.